Many games enjoy eternal adoration. Many others find themselves in Metacritic's eternal damnation. In this series, the tortured souls of games that found their way to a red Metascore of 49 out of 100 or less are given a final chance for gaming salvation. Following this review, will today's game be given a chance of Ascension, or forever languish in Metacritic detention? This is Ascension or Detention. Welcome friends! Today's game facing its final reckoning is Triggerman for the PlayStation 2. This game was released for the PlayStation 2, Xbox and GameCube on the 5th of October 2004 and was produced by WNT Games and published by Crave Entertainment. As of the making of this video, Triggerman sits at an horrendous critics Metascore of 32. The public gave a Metascore of 46, along with 10 comments that seem to be mostly sensible. Looking at Crave Entertainment, we can see that they have a career Metascore of a very average 59, with most of their games being utterly average or disliked. Finally, if we look at Crave Entertainment's portfolio, we can see an alarming amount of shovelware on this list, leaving us thankful that they improved their business model extensively by going bankrupt in 2012. Bearing all this in mind, is there any hope for this game's redemption, or will we have to slam dunk it headfirst back into the fiery abyss where it belongs? A good place to begin is with the story, and the plot starts with our Triggerman, who remains permanently unnamed, attending a meeting with Stupid Name of the Year award recipient Don Coladangelo and his advisor Ralph Borello. The Coladangelo family is blamed for the death of Don Montagano's son. With all the subtlety of a piano falling down a mine shaft, the story later lurches towards a mole who has infiltrated the Don's family. Gee, I wonder who out of the currently present 3 people it could possibly be. If Triggerman depends on this botched Godfather fanfiction of a story to find its salvation, then we're in serious trouble right now. The whole story revolves around Don Coladangelo trying to resolve an unjust accusation of murdering Don Montagano's son by simply stealing their assets, murdering their henchmen in their hundreds, and then murdering Don Montagano himself as well, in the space of 2 missions. Don Montagano is then replaced by his granddaughter Bella, whose personality could be summarised as vendetta, vendetta, vendetta and nothing else. The next 6 missions are a wild mix of attack the family whilst it's weak so we can work out our differences, apparently. Oh no, there's a mole in the organisation. Then we'll murder the guy who knows the mole. Then we'll murder the guy we knew all along was the bloody mole. Then we'll find and murder Bella Montagano, and that's it. In conclusion, this meandering plothole infested crap masquerading as a story is god-tier shit written by a flailing maniac. I would try to analyse the characters in this game, but all of them are either forgettable, detestable, or both. Even Don Coladangelo and the Triggerman look the bloody same. So, any hope of feeling anything for any of these random, badly written characters that come and go as they please is impossible. So, the characters are a waste of space, and the story is nothing short of a rambling load of narrative dysentery. We'll just have to hope the game itself drags Triggerman out of Metacritic detention then, won't we? The sound in this game gives a wonderful first impression during the cutscenes by replacing every single potentially spoken word with a whoom sound. Also, the game provides some of the most unsuitable backing music I have ever heard in a game of this genre. Listen to this rousing theme in the very first level. Bongos have no place in the soundtrack of a third-person shooter Godfather clone. The only pleasant music in the game is on the title screen itself, and for fans of Streets of Rage 2, the ending music is fine as well. The sound effects themselves are perfectly adequate, if not a little tinny and cheap sounding, so here lies the game's first tolerable aspect. This slight benefit is marred by the overall presentation of the graphics. The word mud comes to mind, with the colour palette being mainly shitty looking browns and whatever dull colour they could find to drain any visual potential from the game at all. The textures on all objects, walls, floors and ceilings look horrendous. All the characters look worse than early PlayStation 1 efforts from 8 years prior to this game's release, and levels like the casino feel like barren, desolate landscapes with no life or atmosphere whatsoever. To look at, the casino's vault area is depression nightmare fuel, and to summarise my whole gripe with the graphics, just look at this suitcase full of diamonds. I missed this thing so many times during my playthrough because it looked more like a briefcase full of baby sick. Our remaining choices for Triggerman's salvation are rapidly waning. The game looks like shit, the background music is ear-shredding madness, and the story and characters aren't worth a damn. So, how does the game play? To the game's mild credit, there's a good selection of weapons available. It's just a pity that aiming them is an exercise in teeth-grinding frustration due to the crosshair not stopping movement immediately when you let go of the controls. Aiming your guns not only feels like every ice-based level you've ever played in other games, but if you don't aim exactly at the enemy's head, you'll waste countless bullets on these idiotic bullet sponges. Even then, there's a 50% chance the game will forget what a headshot is, giving your former victim ample chance to wake up every other enemy in the area. The AI in this game can either shoot you right between the eyes by aiming through the keyhole of the adjacent room, or they run around like idiots that don't do anything even close to deadly. Besides the throwing knife that could seriously do with a greater turning arc when thrown, your normal knife is again either deadly, or you'll try to hunt them down as they move a pixel out of the way of your lunge, resulting in you murdering the air around your enemy more often than not. How about we explore the stealth mechanic next? Calling this stealth option unrefined is about as much positivity as I can manage. Your crouch-walking syphilitic gibbon must be right behind the enemy to remain undetected. Otherwise, they'll go screaming to their friends that the naughty man is here, and the cascade of failure begins. Blasting your way clumsily through all 8 missions while trying to get headshots to work is the order of the day here, until you get to the 4 stealth sections. There are 3 of these horrific experiences awaiting you throughout the game, and the first is forced upon you at the end of the casino level. You will fail this miserable section time and time again, unless you follow a very precise path, as the police officers have suddenly increased their perception capabilities to beyond those of a leopard. These sections are the cheapest, dirtiest and most dismally frustrating elements of the whole game, and was very likely the last part of the game most casual players would have seen before angrily frisbeeing the disc across the room. Now we've looked at the game at some depth, will this game receive Ascension, or be forever confined to Metacritic detention? This game is more fun to throw than it is to insert into your game's console, and purely for this reason, I condemn Triggerman to infinity years of Metacritic detention. Triggerman is a bottom-of-the-barrel experience that offers nothing but an ugly, broken, tone-deaf and frustrating experience. To conclude, here is my Metacritic review and my contribution towards this game's permanent incarceration in Metacritic detention. Until next time on Ascension or Detention, goodbye friends.